Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. The Boks have beaten the All Blacks 31 points to 27 in what is going to be remembered as one of the greatest games we've seen in recent times at Ellis Park. Absolutely incredible. Coming from 10 points behind at a stage, the Springboks in many respects weren't at the races, and yet when it counted the most, that last 12 minutes came from behind. Yellow card to Watchalongs really was probably the difference in the end. But cheapers me, what a game. And I mean, this is the two best teams in the world. You know, Ireland are a phenomenal team and probably on the same level, but there's just nothing like these two teams when they play against each other. You know, it is absolutely next level. It is passion. It is just, I mean, look, the disappointment here on the New Zealanders' face here, it just shows you how much it means to these two teams. It is the greatest rivalry in the world. It is the greatest match in the world. And tonight it delivered in truckloads. Before we break the game down, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. I'm still kind of coming down on what was an absolutely insane match. And yeah, you know, I tell you what, if you guys are, you know, let me know what you think in the comments below about the match, because yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. BITDEFENDER the Toys walking away with man of the match, deserved. But things weren't always smooth sailing for the Boks. So we're going to go through the game here, kind of a bit of a blow by blow, and it was the worst possible start. Upper yellow card in the 5th minute, and Cody Taylor went over in the 6th minute. So after not even 8 minutes, 7-0 down. The worst possible start, really, for the Boks. Thankfully, managing to get into the game after basically 50 minutes of being nowhere, and Bongi Manambi going over off the back of a line out. You're not going to stop in that kind of range. Controversy, though. Lots of controversy with it. Looks like the ball was dislodged in his hands. Potentially knock on. I actually haven't seen the slow-mo or anything like that, so I'll have to have a look at that in the week. But it looked like a knock-on. However, there was a bit of a gift later from the Boks to the All Blacks, so that kind of probably cancelled it out. And also was quite controversial is they showed the replay in the stadium, and the All Blacks saw it and started approaching the referee to say there was a knock-on, you know, and, you know, the try shouldn't be awarded. In doing so, they kind of broke their line. So Sasha got timed out, but he was saying, but they're off their line. They've charged before I've started my run-up, which means it should have been retaken. So lots of stuff actually happening in that particular moment, and very interesting to see what is going to be said about that whole situation. But regardless, it became 7 points to 5. Sacha Famagana then gave the Boks a lead for the first time in the 29th minute with 3 points. I think he scored 17 points in the end off the boot. I thought he was absolutely superb, by the way. However, Caleb Clark went over in the 32nd minute before a late penalty from Sacha Famagana meant it was 12 points to 11 at half time. The same scoreline was in the 2023 Rugby World Cup final, except for this time the Boks were very much on the other side. And the Boks didn't pitch up for most of the second half. There's only one way of really saying it. A gift. Damon Delaney popping it straight into the hands of Geordie Barrett. The ball destined for Sia Khaleesi, but so telegraphed. And Geordie Barrett went over with the extras. And that, for me, kind of cancels out that knock-on, really, from Bongi Manambi, because it was a gift. Sacha Famagana then brought the deficit down. We had 2 opportunities where I thought we had momentum, that we took the points. Wasn't sure it was the right call. Look, in the end, it probably was. But penalties from Sacha Famagana, 45-49. A penalty from Dane McKenzie in between that, 14-22, 17-22, and then a pretty poor defense from the Boks, it must be said. And Caleb Clark went over for his second in the 51st minute. Thankfully, Dane McKenzie missing the kick, but 10 points with the half an hour to play. 10 points with 50 minutes to play as well. 17 points, 27 when Watchalongs gets that yellow card. A minute later, Kwaka Smith, on the back of a couple of pick-up and goes, and decent mauls, he goes over under the poles. Makes no mistake, does Sacha. A phenomenal couple of penalties as well being won throughout the game, and a big penalty in the in sort of that 73rd minute. We kick down to the corner, and Grant Williams is aware enough to see a bit of space. He dives over, and then it's 5 minutes of defense. Really, really good defense. And that was the game. If you have a look at some of the stats here, it tells you a very interesting story. Because again, I thought that lots of aspects of the Boks were poor. Discipline-wise, I thought New Zealand were very poor. Territory, 53-46. If you look at like the feel as to the makeup of where the territory is, it's mental. It's like 25, 25, 25. There was no real sort of place. It was actually more sort of New Zealand 22, actually, where majority of the rugby was played. If you look at possession, 55-45 for the Boks. The last 10 minutes, 67% though. That was the pressure that the Boks were putting on the All Blacks. Lineouts, so much better for the Boks. 92% win out of 26 lineouts. The All Blacks also pretty decent, to be fair. Bok receives as well, restarts, 100% there, 83% from New Zealand, wasn't the best from them. The Boks scrum struggled. Let's be very brutally honest about it. It wasn't their best scrummaging day. And I think that was a big part of the fact that we struggled to get into the game because we didn't have that physical dominance. We didn't see the pack bully the All Blacks like we've seen them bully other teams. And I think that was a massive credit to the All Blacks, who really, really fronted up and did enough to really neutralize that Bok pack, which is the big weapon. But if you look at the attack, very interesting as well. Passes 107-145, but Boks with 234 post-contact meters, 163 for the All Blacks. More line breaks though from the All Blacks. Turnovers 1-7 from the Boks. Quagga Smith, Jasper Wiese had a really good one. Damien Delendi actually had 2. Malcolm Marx, I think, also had one. Just the 3 from New Zealand. Penalties, this is where New Zealand lost it. 14 penalties conceded. So that yellow card to Opa Tuangafasi was coming. It definitely was coming. Tackles made, the Boks were asked to make 100, well, made 110, missed 17. New Zealand made 127, missed 27. So 87% tackle completion rate there for the Boks. 32 kicks to 28. So once again, we're seeing a trend. The team that kicked more ended up winning. If you look at some individual performances, really impressive were Geordie Barrett, 10 carries, Pieter the Toy, 8 carries. Bowden Barrett, 3 line breaks. Fassi, I thought was really, really good. If you look at tackles completed, Artie Sevilla 15, Sam Kane 14, Tara Lomax 13, Pieter the Toy 11. He was absolutely massive today. Turnovers 1, Damien Delende, as mentioned, 2, Jasper Wiese 2, Malcolm Marx 1. Really good work. I thought Jasper Wiese in particular was very good. Some people were worried about him in sort of this comeback, but 9 carries, 7 tackles, not a single tackle missed, 2 turnovers as well. Phenomenal. Sash Zulu, 16 points, by the way, 6 tackles made, none missed, 2 bad passes, 1 bad restart, but 4 defenders beaten, 63 meters gained. What a game from him. A star is once again born. And that was it. So let me know what you thought about the game. Down in the comments below. Smash the like on the video as well. Right. That's a lot to get through. Now let's get rid of the player ratings now. I'd like to give a bit of a review of the game in terms of what happened and give it a context. It also allows you some time to go and vote on the player ratings. So hopefully you've been doing that whilst I've been chatting away about the game, because that's kind of the whole point, is for you guys to vote on the game, on the player ratings. So by the time I start voting, it's a genuine reflection of what everyone's had to say. So I'm just going to sort this out, and you guys can get voting. So the link is the pinned chat. So go and vote on that. And basically what happens is then I go to do my votes, and it kind of evens out. It basically takes the average and evens up for an average score. So that is the plan over here. So I'm going to bring up the player ratings in just a second. But first things first, we need a man of the match nomination. So Pieter the Toy for me has to be there. Who was your man of the match? So Pieter the Toy has to be there. I'm going to put Sasha Zulu there. I'm actually going to put Jasper Wiese in there. I thought he was really, really good. Even though he only played half an hour, I thought he was tremendous. And I thought BITDEFENDER was really good. So, that's kind of where I'm at. What are we saying here? Any, give me other nominations for man of the match. I'm seeing a Fassi over here early on. What else are we saying? Didn't they saying Ulrich and Quacker were proper? Yeah, what are we saying for man of the match nominations? Yeah, people. A couple of people saying Grant Williams. I'll replace Jasper with Grant Williams, shall I? Because I really enjoyed Upper-Fassi's game as well. So I think those are nice 4 options there. So there we go. I feel for Jasper Beast. I thought he was really, really good. Yeah, so you guys can get voting. We're going to get into the player ratings now. And then we shall award our man of the match. That's how it works. We will have the press conference coming up as well in a bit. Obviously, we'll have Rusty Rasmus and Scott Robertson. Very interested to see what both those the coaches have to say after what is a tremendous game of rugby. If nothing else, we should say thank you. Thank you for what we've just witnessed, because it was epic. Absolutely epic. I am so upset that I couldn't be there. But we're out here. We're out here giving you guys the coverage you guys deserve. And hopefully you really enjoyed it, because, yeah, I mean, we really enjoyed bringing it to you. But what a game it would have been to have been there. And just so, yeah, proud of the lads for the performance that they brought. And just... So I'm just make sure this is all working. And we'll play ratings. It's going to be one of the best matches. I mean, in terms of rugby championship matches, that must be one of the best in a very, very long time. But my heart rate's through the roof. Not happy with that part. I think I genuinely aged quite a lot during the course of that match. So hopefully you guys got the player ratings. I'm going to show you what it should look like. I'm just bringing it up again on the screen. That's what I was trying to sort out. Right, so that's what the player ratings looks like. We guess you know through and we give it a rating between 1 and 10. That is the chat. This is the most bizarre thing that's just happened. Rusty was about to get interviewed, and someone seemed to go like steaming past him. I don't know if there's a streaker on the field or what's happened there, but that was absolutely bizarre. Rusty took a while to actually sort of go and say, "What the hell's going on here?" So very, very weird. But anyway, so we're going to get through that in just a little bit. I'm going to keep giving you guys a bit of time to vote, because you guys then always, as I start going, everybody's going, oh no, well, where is that? We haven't seen that. So it is in the description. And I can't wait. I mean, you can hear his voice is gone as Rusty. I mean, jeepers, he's aging. If you think I'm aging, he must be aging. Goodness me. Yeah, I mean, he looks relieved. I think relief is probably the best way to describe it, actually, because yeah, it wasn't smooth sailing at all. And we're gonna have to be a lot better, I think, next week if we are to try and repeat that result, because it wasn't smooth sailing. I wouldn't say we weren't deserved winners at the end, because we had moments, but it was not easy. It wasn't as straightforward as I think a lot of people hoped it could have been. But you know what? At the end of the day, big clutch moments, for example, you can only play what's in front of you. So, and they did, and they got the results. So that is the main thing. At the end of the day. So let's get into the player rating, shall we? I think I've rambled enough, haven't I? Somebody asking on my view for Bongi Manambi's try. I want to have another look at it, to be honest. You know, I think that it looked like it was dislodged, but whether it was fully dislodged, for example, clear separation, whether he managed to regather, whether it was backwards, forwards, what the chat is. I want to go have another look at that before I really give you my opinion, because I don't want to go and say something and then I'm actually completely wrong, because I've only seen one or two frames of it. So we'll kind of dissect it in the week. But let's go through the game, shall we? Now, Oxenchair, I thought, had a pretty good game. Didn't get the scrum dominance we probably wanted. Was decent in and around the game. 3 carries, 6 tackles. I'm putting the about 7 for Ox. I think he was pretty solid. And you guys have gone with a 7 as well. Hopefully this is working. You guys have gone and voted. Because then it's just basically me giving my rating, which I suppose if that is the case, then that's the case. I thought Bongi, he scored a try, so he gets an extra point. Let's look at his game, shall we? 2 carries, a try, 1 missed tackle, 5 tackles made. Probably also. I thought first half we were pretty decent, actually. I thought we were much better in the first half than we probably were in the second half. I just want to give him a 6 and see if that's working. Okay, cool. So I've given him a 6 and a stayed at a 7, which means this is averaging out. I thought Frans Maherbe had a bit of a quiet game. You know, he always is a bit of a silent assassin. But 8 tackles is a decent shift. So I'll probably also give him a 7. 6.6. Some people got a bit low for Frans Maherbe. But again, you know, you don't really see a tight head making breaks, for example. He puts in a big shift defensively. But we also kind of expect to see much bigger scrum dominance from him, which is probably where he's potentially losing out on some of that those ratings. So let's go have a look at second row. Pieter-Steph du Toit. Is he human? I'm gonna have to give him a 9. He's sublime, absolutely phenomenal performance once again. Let's look at this guy's numbers, by the way. Bearing in mind he played the lock, then he went to the flank, then he went back to the lock. Like, just everywhere. 9 carries, 11 tackles made, 1 missed, a turnover 1 as well. Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The work rate, the workload he gets through. He's just a freak of nature. Is this Pieter-Steph du Toit. So yeah, 8.4. I think that's probably pretty fair. Runok here. Runok, yeah, it's pretty solid actually. 9 tackles, 2 missed, 3 carries. Not very good line-out work. I think for his line-out work, I'm probably going to give him a 7. I thought in general play, 7.3, got a bit higher. I think that's all right. I thought his line-out work was really, really impressive. It was a big part of the fact that our line was a lot better today. Sia, he actually never as quiet. I'd probably give him a. He had a couple of good carries, but he was a bit more quiet. Just the 2 tackles, for example, didn't really get that ascendancy as much as we like. So a bit of a quiet game for Sia. I'd probably give him a solid 6, 7.2. Maybe being a bit harsh, but I thought by his standards he was a little bit quiet today. Ben Jason Dixon, he got subbed early. Made 5 tackles before that, probably an average 6 as well for Ben. 6.1. They're going with the lowest again. Yeah, he was subbed early. I don't think that's necessarily his fault. It kind of just worked with the blood replacement with Ruan Okia, for example, and the likes of that. So yeah, felt sorry for him. I still think I might see him next week, to be fair. I'd probably off the bench potentially. In terms of Jasper Wiese, I thought he was so good. People were talking about he hasn't played, he's going to be off the pace. I thought he was absolutely sublime. 9 carries, making 30 meters, a defender beaten, 7 tackles, not a single one missed. 2 turnovers, 1 as well, and proper clutch turnovers. So I thought it was absolutely tremendous. So I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was that good. I thought a 7.9. We're basically thereabout. We're pretty similar about that. I was so. I think he put the performance in that we've kind of been waiting for from an Evan Lewis and Ulrich Lowe. You know, he basically reminded everybody that number 8 is not up for grabs. It's not. That's my shirt. Like, you guys were just keeping it while I was off. That's my shirt. As soon as Dwayne Vermeulen retired, Jasper's like, okay, cool. Dwayne, love your work, that is mine. You know, that is my jersey. He was absolutely immense. And very, very chuffed. But so yeah, so I think 7.9. I think is very good. We're going to go to Kobus Ranach. But an iffy game, I think, for Kobus. They're solid. I think solid. Didn't quite probably have the ascendancy you would have liked. Decision making wasn't terrible, I don't think. I mean, it's always difficult to judge a scrum up, but I'll probably give him a 7. I thought he was solid. 6.4, maybe a bit much. Sasha, I mean, somebody was talking about the fact that, who was it over here? I saw a comment on Sasha, which I thought was a wild one. Benzi says, Sasha must look at his general accuracy. He's relying on his talent and he's not paying attention. That can cost him. You're talking about a guy that has just guided the Boks to a victory over New Zealand with a 75% kicking success rate, including a 60-meter kick, scoring 16 points, making 6 tackles without missing one, making 63 meters with 4 defenders beaten. Like, I thought he was so good. I'm going to give him an 8. I think he was special today. 8.1, yeah, I thought that, I mean, that comment I think is a wild comment. I think Sasha today was basically like, yeah, also a little bit like, Jasper in terms of that is my jersey. I think today, I don't think you're not going to take that 10 off him if he's going to keep playing like that. Not a complete performance. He makes mistakes, but the way he plays lends. Same with Dave McKenzie. McKenzie is also going to make mistakes because he toes the line, and he's on the fringes. He's not a safe fly half. But such a couple. I mean, that kick right towards the end, cheap as me. It had me panicking because I thought he kicked it dead, to be honest, and I was stressing. But so good. So I think an 8.1. Proper stuff from Sasha. Baya saying, see a good game today, bud. Surprised already in the comment section after that game. Love the work. There's a Sia in there. Kirby Aronson, concussion, which doesn't look good. And again, I feel for Edward van der Merwe, I think would have been. So that'll be Kirkley out for next weekend. So we'll probably see Michael Zoll Mapimpi drafted back in at 11. Not his best game, to be perfectly honest, from Kirkley Aronson. I'll probably give him a 6, but it wasn't great. To be perfectly honest, I think a 7 is wild. I think he only had 1 carry, and I think he kind of butchered the try there, which is on the floor was difficult. But if you kicked it slightly better, I think he goes over. Damien Delindi once again reminded a lot of people what he's about. Yes, he did give that try and a bad pass, but also like sheep as me. A couple of those clutch turnovers, some nice defense as well. I'll probably give him an overall 7 because there were. I was going to give it an 8, but there were some bad moments. That try probably gives it back. So 7.3. I think that's fair. I think we've kind of realized that he was really good within some of that bad. Again, that try was really poor. That we gave away, but yeah, those turnovers. Oh, some of the tackles. So for me, he was at an 8, and I'm giving him a 7 because of that try we conceded. I'm very interested to see what Jesse Creel's going to get. He had a tough game out there. He had to shift to wing. Somebody was saying the reason that he shifted to wing is the reason we're losing, which I thought was a weird chat. I mean, you look at that try with Caleb Clark, and he was trying to cover 2 players, for example, and he was never going to be able to make up. He made maybe a bit of a poor read in that first half. He also made, that cross kick, for example, where he took it out of the air, when they took it quickly within 22, was really, really important. Massive moment in the game. So I thought he was pretty solid. It wasn't his best game, but again, he had to move to the wing, which he hasn't played in a while. So I'm probably going to give Jesse a 7. I think that he coped pretty well. It wasn't the usual standards, but it's 7.3. Okay, cool. So I thought people were going to go after Jesse. I thought, I really saw some people in the comments earlier saying that he was out of there. But I think, again, he had some mixed moments, had some great moments, had some poor moments. Averaging out as a 7. Also, we won. I think one of those things, if we lose this game, everybody's rating probably drops by a point. Cheslin. Good old Chesy. The work rate from him just continues to be absolutely unreal. Missed a couple of tackles, 20 meters gained, 60 minutes beaten. I thought another good game. 7.8, yeah, I'm with that. You look at people are chuffed today. People are vibing out there, giving good reviews. And Napoli Fassi, chef's kiss. The Church of Fassi is going to be full tomorrow. It is because he had a storm, and I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was absolutely superb. Yep, and you guys are agreeing. I thought Fassi today, and I said during the week, and it wasn't a criticism. I said you've got to do it against a big team. He's been good against Australia twice. He was good against Portugal, and Wales. But you're not looking at realistically tier 2 nations with the way they're kind of playing. Today was the test for Fassi. Today it was about, can you do it? Can you be the heir to the Villarreal throne? And he's put his hand up and said, yep, 100%. And I thought he stood up and just took every single challenge in a stride. Had some really good moments, and so chuffed that because he's had to come back. He got dropped. He got genuinely dropped, and he had to go back. He had to work on his game in the URC. He had a good URC, back in the setup, and now look at him. Malcolm off the bench, pretty solid. Lineup work, just one bad lineup. It's a couple of decent carries. That very important rip as well. So I'm going to give him a 7.4. Fair enough. Gerard Stellenkamp had a couple of nice moments. Could see the penalty, but I thought Jenny was decent, 7. And Vincent Clark probably also going to give a 7. I thought Evan 6.7. I thought Evan was big today. He got involved and a couple of big carries as well. Some nice line work. So I'm probably going to give him a 7 as well. Guys got a bit higher there. Lots of praise for Evan. TJ saying Fuss did not look out of place. Good on him. I think that's a good way of saying it. He looked so comfortable. He looked like he'd been there for years, and that's the best possible thing you can do. Is when you sit there looking like a player who's been in the system that's been around the block, and you look comfortable. That's what coach want to see. Coach want to see somebody who just suits international rugby and that looks at home playing in the biggest game in the world, because this is what this is. Yes, maybe the All Blacks aren't as good as they've been previously, but this is still the biggest game, and this is still the benchmark that we judge ourselves is on how we do against the All Blacks. I thought Ulrich Lowe, his stature is growing every week. I think his stocks are up. I thought he had some very nice touches. I was very impressed with him off the bench. He gets the 7, and Kwaka's going to get an 8 actually, because that try. That clutch moment, he is just so clutch. So I'm going to give him an 8 just on that impact. 8.6. You see, we're now all we're quite a bit obsessed, really. That actually could be the highest ranking. 8.6, 8.1, 7.9, 7.2. What a piece of talking. 8.4. Yeah, you see, Kwaka Smith now with the highest ranking. Who would have thought that 5 years ago? My guy, like Kwaka, operating. Grant Williams, he actually had a couple of mistakes, funny enough. That knock on, and when he got isolated in the penalty was a bit frustrating. But apart from that, he brings so much energy. So I'm probably gonna have to give him an 8. That try is so important. 8.2. And then Pollard, quiet but solid when he came on. At inside centre, he actually carried pretty nicely. He tackled well. I'll give him a good 7. 6.7. I think that's a bit harsh. He did everything he was asked to do, for example. I think he's a bit nervous. I think that getting that number 10 jersey back from Sasha is going to be difficult for him. So I think he's got every right to be a little bit worried, but looked decent when he came on. And then Rusty Erasmus. Well, I mean, we won, didn't we? So, yeah, I mean, in terms of the subs, we did put on very early. I think we had to. I don't think we got the response really we needed until later. In terms of team selection, I think he backed Sasha. I think that's a big call. Probably going to give him an 8 just for backing Sasha. 8.2, yeah. He backed Sasha and Fassi, those two, and Jasper. That's 3 big calls. That's 3 really, really big calls. And they all played well. Literally, all of them could have been in man of the match contention. And I think that, for me, shows you how much trust they've got in these players and how these players are playing for them. I mean, Sasha right now is sitting there beaming ear to ear, thinking that the best coach in the world thinks I'm the best option at 10 for the best team in the world, which makes you one of the best 10s in the world in terms of, your stature. So, yeah, I think that's what you see. You're just seeing someone who people just believe in him. And they play for him. And his man management, it's all just so good. So massive congratulations to Russ Erasmus. You're getting it right. Tony Brown, things will get better. I think, we'll become a bit more fluid, and I think we'll become a bit more obvious. But yeah, it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. Look, if we had lost, everybody, the rest would have been completely different. But we didn't. You know, so it's a hypothetical, really. If you lose, then maybe we sit there saying, "Oh, maybe not as good as we thought." I think this All Black side is probably not as bad as we think, and I think that we are as good as we think. Because this is just because you only narrowly beat this third ranking wise, third best team in the world, that doesn't suddenly mean that we're not as good. The fact of the matter is things got tough and the cream rose to the top. We got the result. We've lost 2 matches in the last 12 months. We've just beaten the All Blacks 3 times in a row, by the way. That is in the Qatar Airways Cup, the final, and today. We go and win next week. It's 4 times in a row. We're finally shifting the usual sort of record, which is a bad record against New Zealand, really. It's the team we've got the worst record against by a long way. And we're slowly starting to change that around. We've now got 3 in the balance. We go and beat them in Cape Town. We get the Freedom Cup back, for example. That would all but tie up the Rugby Championship, I think. Obviously, we still have to go to Argentina. But Argentina could lose tonight, for example. So just so chuffed. And I think what we saw is a coaching staff who trust the 23 and a coaching staff who trust their 15. The New Zealand subs came late because I think there was a nervousness about them. If you look at South Africa, for example, Kwaka Smith was the final person to come on, and we had a couple of HIAs and stuff, and he came on at the 50th minute. The final sub came on at the 50th minute. The first sub for New Zealand came on at the 55th. And majority of them came between 65 and 69. Mark Talea, Cortez Watima, 65, Leonard Brown, 63, Sam Derry, Sam Penny-Finau, 69, Amua, 65. So that kind of shows you that the Boks use that bench as part of the holistic game plan, whereas the All Blacks at the moment are still very much like replacing players at the end when they get tired. They're replacements. They're not part of the whole, team. Boks are a 23-man team. I think the All Blacks are still a 15-man team. I don't think they... I don't know if they maybe got it wrong by not backing the replacements more, but I just don't think he has the same trust that Rusty has. Rusty, as I said, he offloaded the entire bench by 50 minutes, and there was an injury. So that shows you how there was just complete backing, complete backing, and that they backed their replacements to bring that impact. And at the end of the day, they did. You can't argue it because it worked. So I'm a very tough Springbok fan. I'll be a very miserable Springbok fan if we had lost. 100%. I would have sulked all week. But now we get to go to Cape Town with a decent lead in the Rugby Championship and a lot of confidence. And how good is it to be in that kind of situation? So chuffed, very, very chuffed. So in terms of the content that's still to come, hey, you shush. We've got a Rusty's press conference. Very interested to see what he has to say. Him and Sia Khaleesi will be answering questions. And we also obviously have a Scott Robertson press conference as well. So all that's going to come onto the channel very, very shortly. And we'll have that up. And then we'll also hopefully have a play interview up for tomorrow. And then we'll be live later for Argentina versus Australia. Not sure I'm going to watch it. I think it'll be one of those things you kind of put on in bed. But it should be a really good game. Give me 2 seconds. But let's go to some of the comments, by the way. I've been rambling on for a while. Yeah, let's go to some of the comments. Sandor says, how many times can you infringe the ruck without yellows? TJ says, there's a huge difference of quality between the All Black Stars and bench. Their subs dropped off badly. Cameron, who is a long-time subscriber of the channel and an All Black fan, says, Razor shouldn't feel bad about this. He really shouldn't. A lot of the guys that played didn't play bad. They had dominance in the scrum, stopped SM more, dominated the line, so we're good. I think that's a good take. That's a measured take. Long may that sort of attitude continue. But we're going to wrap up there, people, because the press conference is starting. I need to go and get that all sorted. So we'll see you guys all next time. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll see you guys all next time. The last thing I have to do is award a man of the match. And that is voted by you guys. And it is going to go to, drum roll please, Sasha Famigomazulu after all that. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, there we go. PSF Victoria walked away with the actual man of the match. The first sports one goes /Fami Gomez Zulu. People, thank you so much. Smash like on the way out.